Douluo continent, the capital of slaughter. Outside the town a boy in white clothes is walking slowly on this endless road. This boy in white clothes looks like he is only 15 or 6 years old, but he has very deep eyes, and his features are very beautiful. The beautiful eyebrows, the elegant temperament, and the flowing long hair, as if they are not connected to this sinful place at all, but like a teenager walking out of the painting. Just as the system evaluated him at the beginning, you have nothing but handsome. Of course, although Yang Xian tried his best to get out of the elegant temperament, his mouth was muttering, "Damn, I'm lost again, where is the entrance to the killing city?" Xiao Chen Chen, it's not that the master is not strong, it's really hard to find the road. When the master finds the way, I must see you immediately and solve your problem. Hey, after sleeping for a long time, I really forget my sex. Yang Xian was originally a college student in the 21st century, but encountered an accident during a heroic rescue of the United States. After waking up, he arrived at the Douluo continent. Moreover, it was the Douluo continent that had just formed. At that time, there were no humans, and there were not even many creatures. Fortunately, he got the strongest mentoring system. As long as he collects 99 specific apprentices according to the system requirements, he can break through the sky and become a god. Then, with the help of the system, he accepted the first apprentice, a young dragon, named Dragon God. But helplessly, Yang Xian's strength is really too weak. After accepting this apprentice, after only teaching for a year, he was forced to fall asleep and wake up again, 2 or 3 billion years later. So with the help and hints of the system, his life over the past few 100 million years can be summarized as follows: accept disciples, teach, sleep, sleep. Accept disciples again. In recent years, Yang Xian's strength has reached a certain level, and his apprentices have received more than 80 in total, and his strength has also reached the so-called 80 plus level in this world, so I don't need to sleep all the time. There is a moment of sobriety. Of course, his 80 plus rank is not comparable to Contra, and even though he has lived for a long time, most of them actually slept in the past, and his mentality is still very young. When he woke up this time, he no longer needed to fall asleep to resist the sequelae caused by the apprentice, so he walked out of his home where he had lived for hundreds of millions of years, and looked at the apprentice he had received decades ago, Haoshan Suzerain, now the king of slaughter in the city of slaughter, the situation of Tang Chen. Tang Chen's situation is very special. Although Yang Xian said that he was terrifying in strength and had various methods, after all, he had to face the will of God Shura and God Raksha. He could only do his best. There is no way, who made him a master. The apprentice can only worry about it by himself. Although he has many apprentices, he can hardly remember it, but he can still remember a few female disciples clearly. It's just that, the question now is, where is the killing capital? Southeast. How do I know which side is southeast? Just when Yang Xian's mother was selling the navigation of the scolding system, a beautiful figure appeared in his field of vision. It was a woman in a black outfit. The woman had long faint purple hair, and she was still slightly bent over her shoulders, and she had a beautiful face that was inclined to the shape of an oval. And her skin looks very delicate, the smooth white skin does not seem to have pores, it is so flawless, plus her slender figure, she looks like a golden ratio figure, it is perfect. And although this woman is only about 20 years old, her strength is not weak at all, and her body is still exuding a blood-red breath, and her eyes are blood-red. In the field of killing gods, I remember that there is only one woman who can come out of the city of killing in recent years. Yang Xian watched the beautiful woman talk to herself, and was a little excited while speaking, obviously I am a different woman. Ding, release the apprenticeship task, accept the apprentice Bibi Dong, task reward, confidential. The voice of the system sounded beside Yang Xian, which made him confirm the identity of the woman in front of him, Bibi Dong. As expected to be the future pope, he was already so beautiful in his 20s, and his strength was extremely high, twin spirits, and at this time Bibi Dong should not have experienced the things of Chihiro disease, he should have just succeeded to the saint. Don't ask Yang Xian how he can see it, his eyes are always accurate. Just ask for directions first, and then see if I can take the opportunity to accept disciples. In fact, it was not only Yang Xian who discovered Bibi Dong, but Bibi Dong also discovered Yang Xian. After all, there are not many people on the streets here, and Yang Xian is so eye-catching, and the key is that he is handsome. But Yang Xian didn't say hello so urgently. After all, the way of approaching a conversation did not fit the current scene at all, and it was already worn out. I saw that he walked towards him in a calm and unhurried manner, but instead of looking at Bibi Dong, he looked around, and said to himself, "Where is the entrance to the city of killing?" The sound is not loud, but Bibi Dong can hear it. "Are you going to the slaughter city?" Bibi Dong really took the lead in asking. After all, she had just come out of it and hadn't spoken for a long time. She would naturally say hello when she saw someone so friendly as Yang Xian. "Yeah, do you know where the killing capital is?" Yang Xian looked at each other eagerly. Yu reading www.yukansha.com's deep eyes stared at Bibi Dong's beautiful eyes, even though they seemed excessive. But cannot attract the slightest disgust from the other party. After all, who makes his cheek extra points? "Of course I know, I just got out of it, and I don't recommend you to go in." Bibi Dong frowned and persuaded her. A boy like this would cry inside, right? Hey, the girl is too underestimated, besides, I am not going to experience, just to find someone. Yang Xian said with a light smile. Looking for someone? Bibi Dong looked at each other incredulously. The city of slaughter can still go in and find someone. You think it's a city? If you go in, and come out when you say it. In that place, it is easy to get in, but there are few that come out. Where do you come from, and where to go back? Bibi Dong glanced at him with disdain, and again dragged his tired body and planned to leave. Such a narcissist, if he doesn't look pretty good, and he's worried about his death, I'm afraid he won't be able to take care of it. Hey, wait a minute, girl, just tell me where you are. The rest is naturally up. Yang Xian said again, seemingly urgent. Hey, okay, I hope you can live. From this direction, walk forward 500 meters, then 300 meters northwest, then 500 meters east, you are almost there. Bibi Dong finished speaking, only to find that Yang Xian was looking at her with a bewildered expression, and then he was still gesturing with his hands. That, girl. Yang Xian looked at Bibi Dong with embarrassment. Why don't you take me there? It's not that you can't find the way down, but you don't have a good sense of direction. Can't find the way and have a bad sense of direction. Isn't that the same thing? Bibi Dong glanced at each other speechlessly, and found that he didn't look like a fool. Sorry, I don't have time to accompany you again, goodbye. Bibi Dong shook her head. She wants to go back to life, and she is in a very bad state now, and the killing god realm is too difficult to control. Her state of mind is being affected. At this moment, Yang Xian suddenly sang a strange word beside him. The avenue is invisible, giving birth to the world, the avenue is ruthless, running the sun and the moon, the avenue has no name, and it grows all things, I don't know its name, but the strong name is the Tao. The sky is moving and quiet. Accompanied by Yang Xian's singing, Bibi Dong suddenly felt that his restless mood instantly calmed down a lot, even if it was the murderous air, it temporarily calmed down. How can that be? Bibi Dong's eyes widened and looked at Yang Xian, as if he wanted to see through the other person, but he was just a handsome guy and couldn't see anything else. Okay, thank you for showing me the way. This is regarded as a reward for you. Goodbye. Yang Xian seemed to have given up the habit of letting the other party lead the way, and hugged his fists and planned to leave. As for the scene just now, he didn't have the slightest meaning to explain, causing Bibi Dong's heart to be like a cat scratching, and his curiosity grew. Yang Ziyan was originally a pure Taoist mental method for cultivating. The complete version of the Yellow Emperor's internal classic, which was just sung as the Taoist King's Enju. With mutual cooperation, the effect will not be much worse, and it can be regarded as a help to Bibi Dong. Well, it's the Yellow Emperor's internal classic of the legendary Yuzhenqian. Also, he has put down the hook and bait. Bibi Dong is definitely more eager to know his secrets in this situation. If you don't believe it, she won't follow. Sure enough, after Yang Ziyan walked 10 steps, Bibi Dong's clear voice sounded behind him, "Wait a minute, I will take you in, so that none of us owes anyone. Besides, I am here. You may come out if you go in. If you go in by yourself, I'm afraid you won't be able to get out." Bibi Dong said kindly, as if he was thinking of you. Everyone who passes through the road of is entitled to freely enter and leave the killing capital. Bibi Dong really didn't say anything nonsense this time. And she was very proud when she said this, like a very arrogant little girl, who doesn't have a little princess in her heart, let alone Bibi Dong is very young at this time. "Follow sister, have meat to eat." "That's troublesome." Yang Ziyan was not polite, smiled and nodded. If he is polite at this time, then he can only continue to get lost. "Let's go." Bibi Dong raised his white neck, raised his head proudly at Yang Ziyan, and walked side by side with him. "What's your name?" Yang Ziyan asked pretendingly curiously, following Bibi Dong's pace surprisingly, neither fast nor slow. "You tell me the secret of that paragraph just now." Bibi Dong smiled slyly, but it didn't have a style, like a school sister molesting his younger brother. "Sorry, I'm not curious about your name anymore." Yang Ziyan stopped answering in an instant. How could he be led by your nose? Holding hands is almost the same. "Hey, don't tell me." Bibi Dong chopped off the feet wearing handsome cowhide boots, and ignored Yang Ziyan. She is the majesty of the saint, where is not Zhongxing Penjiu, this person actually treats her like this, and wants to hammer him to death on the wall. Bibi Dong took Yang Ziyan around and twisted and passed through the underground passage, only then slowly saw the light. What catches the eye is a black city. The thick black walls are extremely wide, indicating that there is indeed a city here. And in the sky above the city, a purple moon actually hangs. The moon is very low, it seems that it is less than 500 meters away from the ground, and when you look up, everything is black, like the existence of night. This is the capital of killing, where his apprentice Xiao Chen lives. "Follow me, don't talk nonsense, enter the city, and then I will help you find someone," Bibi Dong whispered. His expression also became serious. After all, although she can go in and out freely, this time is different. She brought people here, so the situation is probably a bit complicated. Yang Ziyan looked a little younger than her, and he seemed to be less than 16 years old if he died, and he was so white and clean. At first glance, the strength is not too strong, and even titled Douluo dare not presumptuously in the city of slaughter. If you want to go in and come out, you still need to keep a low profile. Ah, is it so complicated? Yang Ziyan felt that he might just call Xiao Chen, but he also felt that it might be uncivilized, so he nodded obediently to indicate that he heard it. As soon as Bibi Dong's voice fell, a team of people surrounded him. They were all dressed in black armor, and even their faces were completely covered by helmets. 100 of them were holding épées, and only one of them was sitting on a tall war horse. His horse was also covered with thick black armor, and he looked at Bibi Dong and said solemnly, "Respected Lord Murderer, you are welcome back, what can I do for you?" "I brought my friend to find someone, you reading www.yunsha.com trouble to let go." Bibi Dong's face instantly became deserted, like a queen, and said indifferently, "Respected Lord Murder. Sorry, you can go in and out freely, but he can't. You must follow the rules of the slaughter city." The black-armored knight said very domineeringly. What if I have to follow the rules? Bibi Dong asked indifferently, and the other party's answer made her feel shameless. The Black Knight no longer speaks, and the tip of his spear pointed directly at Bibi Dong. Hey, you're looking for death. Bibi Dong snorted coldly. I don't know when there was a scarlet scimitar in his hand, and the scimitar flashed with cold light. Although it has to be low-key here, sometimes it is necessary to show that strength is the kingly way. Although you can't use spirit abilities, Bibi Dong has already been trained in killing people. Clang! The scimitar pierced the Black Knight's armor in an instant, and then harvested the opponent's life. Wait and don't move! Bibi Dong shouted domineeringly at Yang Xian, and then, as his figure flickered, he rushed to the team behind him. In an instant, there were constant screams, Bibi Dong's eyes were harvesting life cold, and the air of killing appeared again. Yang Xian felt a few tyrannical figures approaching in the distance, and then looked at his own position. He couldn't help being a little speechless. He became the one to be protected. So, should I call Xiao Kenshin out? Kill God, although you are a killer god, you must not break the rules of the City of Slaughter. The three surging old men in black surrounded Bibi Dong in a triangle shape, looking like they would shoot at any time. Three contras. Bibi Dong's expression is a lot more serious. This is troublesome. Even if Bibi Dong is talented, she is no more powerful than Soul Sage now. Wanting to deal with these three contras is no different than hitting the stone with an egg. Now, she can only retreat temporarily. Just when Bibi Dong was about to leave, Yang Xian suddenly walked up to the three old men and asked with a smile, May you be Xiao Chen Chen, right, are you under the Slaughter King? Who are you? The three elders watched Yang Xian warily without a trace of spirit power fluctuations, and became vigilant in their hearts. The opponent either really has no spirit power, or is really too powerful. But this does not prevent them from being vigilant first. After all, they are not brain disabled, and directly think that the other party is an ordinary person. It doesn't matter who I am, she doesn't even know my name, so just ask if you are the people around the Slaughter King? If so, please tell him, just say that his master is here and let him come out. Yang Xian shook her long flowing hair and said truthfully. Well, the posture is very handsome. The other party is also acting according to the rules, and he doesn't want to do it. Tell the truth, right? Hey, how old are you? You dare to pretend to be my king's master? Today, you will die. The three contras were obviously stimulated by Yang Xian's words. Who is the king? The king is the light in their hearts, the beacon on their way forward, and their belief. Now this kid dares to blaspheme their king, he must be killed. I'm telling the truth. Yang Xian frowned in distress, thinking about how to prove his identity. At this moment, his hand was suddenly held by a gentle and graceful little jade. Who else could Bibi Dong be? Are you stupid? Bibi Dong frowned and looked at him dissatisfied. This guy really dares to say anything. Run! Seeing Yang Xian still stunned, Bibi Dong grabbed his hand and was about to flash people. The three contras didn't know how to run. She didn't want to die here. Humph! Stop! The three contras once again surrounded the two, and one of them slapped Bibi Dong directly. Hey, sorry. Yang Xian sighed, then raised his hand with a palm, and directly met the contra. Although it was just a seemingly ordinary palm, the next moment the opponent was already photographed flying. Go out! Yang Xian didn't give up, his slender palm turned into a fist, and then he hit another contra. Another contra flew out and looked at the remaining contra. Yang Xian smiled, now, you should believe that I am the master of the Slaughter King, right? There was no spirit power release, no gorgeous skills, no weapons, just two simple moves, and the two contras flew out. Although there are rates and limiting factors here, there is no doubt about Yang Xian's strength. Bibi Dong was stunned, and even forgot that he was holding Yang Xian's hand, just staring at Yang Xian in a daze. Is that human being? Actually, it's not that Yang Ziyan didn't use spirit power, but he controlled it well and his spirit power didn't leak at all. After all, it was a shame to waste. I believe it. I believe it. Sir, wait a moment, I will report it to my king. The contra that had not been beaten hurriedly ran towards the city, daring not to look at Yang Ziyan's eyes anymore. Is this a human being on a horse? Truth is only in the hands of people with big fists. This sentence is vividly expressed in this killing city. Well, can you let go of your hand? Yang Ziyan looked at Bibi Dong's grip on his hand. Although he was pulled very comfortably, he was a boy. Boys must protect themselves when they go out. Yang Ziyan has learned this through his own practical examples in his life. I think at the beginning, the senior sister blocked the door every day and wanted to deal with him, so scared that he could only run through the back door every day. What's the matter of pulling and pulling casually? Anyhow, let's talk about the relationship after confirming the relationship. Bibi Dong also reacted from the shock, and then hurriedly threw away Yang Ziyan's hand and rubbed his clothes vigorously, and stopped at least 5 steps away from Yang Ziyan. The atmosphere was a bit embarrassing for a while, and neither of them knew what to say. Bibi Dong became more and more curious about Yang Ziyan's identity, mysterious ability, mysterious strength. But if he is really the master of Slaughter King, how old is his actual age? Old man. Pretend to be tender. Fortunately, at this moment, a red light flew out of the city, and a figure fell in front of everyone in an instant. It was a tall man, his whole body wrapped in a huge scarlet cloak. A pale face, a pair of completely blood-red eyes, and a terrifying murderous air filled the surroundings. At this time, Yang Ziyan showed a harmonious and natural aura, affecting the killing aura of the Slaughter King. This kind of aura not only affects the King of Slaughter, but also affects Bibi Dong, making Bibi Dong surprised again. After all, this is the city of Slaughter. It would be nice if he could not be affected. He could actually affect the city of Slaughter. And that kind of breath is very comfortable, very natural, just like the smell of nature. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com is like the freshness of seed germination. Master, Xiao Chen Chen misses you so much. The tall figure of the King of Slaughter instantly knelt down in front of Yang Ziyan, and then cried out, where else could he look so tall? It looks like a child crying to his parents. Bibi Dong silently watched this shocking scene, and his inner world view collapsed. She hadn't seen the King of Slaughter. The first feeling she gave him was that it was unfathomable, and her strength was only comparable to that of the Enshrine Hall. But with this kind of existence, I was crying to a young man. Well, the master misses you too, Xiao Chen Chen. It seems that you are not bad, and your mind has not been completely eroded. Yang Ziyan patted the head of the King of Slaughter like a kid. Then feel his situation. Master told Xiao Chen Chen when he was in retreat that year, I will have this catastrophe in the future, so Xiao Chen Chen has been guarding carefully, waiting for your arrival, master. The King of Slaughter looked at his master with red eyes. He was still so young and handsome, and he was already very old. Thanks for your hard work, I'm late for the teacher. Yang Ziyan also patted the Slaughter King on the shoulder with emotion, and said with emotion. I think back then, Tang Chen, Qian Daoliu, and Bo Sixi were listening to classes under his own door at the same time. What a beautiful day back then. Your situation is a bit complicated now. Being a teacher can only help you not to make it worse. You will be awake half of the time every day. For the rest, you can't do much as a teacher for the time being. But Xiao Kenshin, don't worry. During the year, as a teacher, there must be a way to help you get rid of it completely. Yang Ziyan said affirmatively. Yang Ziyan is not telling lies, after all, his task of accepting disciples is only a dozen disciples behind. It will be an era of turmoil in the near future, and he has been awake again, and it is not difficult to complete the task. As long as you become a god, then everything is not a problem. After all, the so-called gods of the system and the gods of this world are also very different. This is already very good, Master. Xiao Chen can spend half of the day to miss the Master's appearance, and he is already very satisfied. Tang Chen said with a contented face, like that, like licking a dog. Bibi Dong was like a transparent person on the side, but he was stunned to see, the dignified and peerless Douluo was actually a big licking dog? If you say this, who will believe it? Yang Xian was not surprised by Tang Chen's performance. After all, Tang Chen was a super licking dog when he took up an apprentice, Qian Daolio was a boring gourd, and Bo Sixi was his little fan. Okay, you will have a good experience in this city of killing. As a teacher these years, I will not retreat easily. I will take action if something happens. Yang Xian said, his natural aura became stronger, and he began to slowly help Tang Chen suppress the erosion caused by the Shura sword and the Raksha god's spiritual mind. As Yang Xian's own aura became stronger and stronger, in addition to Tang Chen's face gradually becoming more glamorous in the center, the three contras on the side, including Bibi Dong, also had different experiences. For the three contras, apart from shocking Yang Xian's identity and strength, they actually didn't catch a cold with Yang Xian's natural aura, or they were rather disgusting. But Bibi Dong is different. She is a normal soul master after all. The aura on Yang Xian's body makes her feel very special. She even wants to stretch her waist comfortably, and then open her mouth comfortably to express herself. How I feel at this time. But fortunately, she knew that she would be ashamed of doing this, so she just stretched lazily, opened her small mouth, and finally held back and said nothing. And Yang Xian's own consumption is also great at this time, after all, he is now equivalent to fighting a divine weapon, and the consumption of soul power is also great, and even fine beads of sweat have begun to appear on that elegant face. After about half an hour, Yang Xian retracted his right hand, and then Tang Chen immediately sat down cross-legged and began to digest the benefits Yang Xian brought. But Yang Xian did not sit down to recover. He just stood still for a minute or two. His complexion had improved a lot, and he seemed to have returned to normal. Looked at Tang Chen who was meditating, Yang Xian didn't wake him up, but transmitted the sound to the three contras and protected Tang Chen well, then turned and left. Bibi Dong naturally won't stay there any longer when he sees this, but quickly catches up with Yang Xian with his slender thighs. Well, can you release the breath you just released? Although he knew it was rude to say that, Bibi Dong couldn't help but speak. Is not only because of that comfortable feeling, but also because of Yang Xian's breath, which can help her quickly digest and absorb the killing air, and master the killing domain as soon as possible. With Yang Xian taking the shot, Bibi Dong is confident that he will master the killing god realm in one day, but if he only relies on himself, it will take at least 3 months. Yang Xian stopped suddenly, then turned to look at Bibi Dong, making Bibi Dong's pretty face flushed. Except for falling in love with Yu Xiaogang, she hasn't been seen this way by other men. I know that my request is too much, but I can pay. Bibi Dong's pair of jade hands embarrassedly pulled the corners of his clothes, blushing and lowered his head in a low voice. Oh? What kind of remuneration can you pay? Yang Xian looked at Bibi Dong with interest, waiting for her to follow. I can give you gold soul coins. Bibi Dong said weakly, and his feet in cowhide boots couldn't help kicking the stones on the ground. It was embarrassing. What should I do? This is called a red card, and this is called a black card. You know how many soul coins they can store, don't you know better than me? Yang Xian took 2 cards from the bag hanging around his waist and placed them in front of Bibi Dong. Shook. The bag is a storage bag. Yang Xian doesn't know how big it is. Anyway, since he arrived in Douluo continent, this bag has not been filled by him. And this bag is pretty good looking, the grey fabric is quite retro. Then I can recommend you to be the elder of the spirit hall, how about it? Bibi Dong was more confident this time, After all, this was the biggest bargaining chip she could think of. Sorry, the identity of Wuhandian elder may not be worthy of me. I am afraid that I will move my position when I go to your big worship. Yang Xian said truthfully. As for Qian Daoliu's temperament as a teacher and respecting Dao, when he saw that he had come to the Wuhan Hall, the place of worship was his own, and he might not be able to kneel if he didn't sit down. Cut, narcissism, what do you say? Bibi Dongbei bit her lip and asked aggrievedly. Simple, if you worship me as a teacher, I will help you completely suppress the refining and killing qi, otherwise it will not be discussed. Yang Xian looked up and down Bibi Dong, and then there was a rascal smile on the corner of his mouth, which looked bad. Said. What are you kidding? How old are you? No, even if you are older than me, I already have a master. Bibi Donggang wanted to say that Yang Xian was not older than her, but then thought that even the king of slaughter would call his master. Suddenly changed the view. And what she said is the truth. Chihiroji was trained by her as the Pope. If she was cut off halfway, she would definitely lead someone to kill Yang Xian. You don't have to worry about this. Your teacher has a problem, just let him come to me and see that I won't spank him. Well, he is a senior, spanking the junior's butt, this is fine. And you have only come out of the killing capital now, no one knows that you have already come out, as long as you are my disciple for half a year. What do you think about reading www.yuyuganshu.com? Yang Xian first persuaded him, and then gave Bibi Dong an idea. Although he was talking about half a year, who knows when that happens, maybe Bibi Dong will not leave by himself? Bibi Dong listened to Yang Xian's words and subconsciously wanted to refute him, but immediately analyzed the pros and cons of doing so. No one knows exactly how long she will experience in the killing city, and it takes 3 months to go back and digest the air of killing, and that's not the case. It's better to be an apprentice to this guy for half a year. Well, let him be his apprentice for half a year, and when the time comes, I will return to the Wuhan Hall. Well, I can worship you as a teacher, but you still have to say what you say, only half a year. After half a year, you must let me go. Bibi Dong looked at Yang Xian's elegant and handsome face, and finally made up his mind. As for whether Yang Xian has the strength to be her master, there is no doubt about it. After all, in terms of the strength that Yang Xian just revealed, it can already be described as unfathomable. Okay, half a year, let's go, good apprentice, take your master out first. Yang Xian subconsciously wanted to reach out and pat Bibi Dong's scented shoulder, but felt that this was not appropriate, so he finally put his hand back. Isn't it just the shoulders of the Pope? We don't particularly want to shoot, but if you talk about the depth of the Pope, Yang Xian is still very interested to know. Well, the depth of strength. Don't you remember the way back? Bibi Dong looked at Yang Xian amused, and even covered his mouth with one hand. Is this still a master or a master? Well, I don't remember, let's lead the way. Yang Xian helplessly covered his forehead, the master's majesty. The place where Yang Xian lives is on an unknown mountain. As for why it is a mountain, it is purely because he has watched too many TV shows in his previous life, and he has also learned how to live an expert. Of course, this mountain was not chosen arbitrarily, but when he accepted the 60th disciple, that disciple respected him. This mountain is located at the junction of the two empires of Tiandu and Xingluo. At more than 4,000 meters. And this mountain is very big, the surrounding woods are lush, the air is fresh, and there will be a few soul beasts from time to time, which is a good place to retreat. The mountain is said to be nameless, and there are strange people living in the mountain. This is the rumor among the people at the beginning, so that many times, people come to the foot of the mountain to worship. But Yang Xian can't accept apprentices casually, he can only accept apprentices according to the system regulations, so some people with good aptitudes, although they can't accept apprentices, will give some advice. After all, He has the memory of 2 lives, the system has been awakened for hundreds of millions of years, and no one dares to refute a word of omniscience. It's just that with Yang Ziyan's falling asleep and waking up, the legend of Wuming Mountain is gradually fading out of the sight of the world, and only a few people know it. The disciple who sent this mountain back then was named Suifeng. He asked Yang Ziyan to teach the way of the emperor, which is now the founding emperor of the Tiandu Empire. Bibi Dong took more than a day with Yang Ziyan to come to the foot of the Wuming Mountain. Looking at the dense woods and towering mountains around, Bibi Dong frowned and asked in disbelief, "This is the nameless mountain you said, where do you live?" "Well, what's the matter?" Yang Ziyi looked at Bibi Dong in confusion, and had to say that Bibi Dong was the kind of girl who looked more and more beautiful. "It's hard to believe that you actually live on the mountain and still live so high." Bibi Dong looked at Yang Ziyan with surprise, "Isn't this person alone?" "Okay, let's go up the mountain first." Yang Ziyan was too lazy to explain the reason for his deep sleep, and stretched out his right hand towards Bibi Dong. "The mountain is very high, I will take you up." "No, I don't know how to fly." Bibi Dong refused the master's invitation. "But you fly by yourself and fly with us. That feels different." Yang Ziyan added something in his heart, and then he put his hand back in a slanderous manner, "Then don't run around after you reach the top of the mountain, just wait for me where I am. I have some arrangements on the top of the mountain, which is very dangerous." "I see, sir, you are so long-winded." Bibi Dong suddenly felt that this guy in front of him is indeed a good master, at least better than Chihiroji, because Chihiroji is not too long-winded. "Bah, what am I thinking about? I am a dignified saint, and worshipping him as a teacher is just to let him help me refining the spirit of killing. When half a year arrives, I will leave immediately." Bibi Dong no longer cares about how Yang Ziyan goes up, her spirit power is released directly, and then with a light touch of her toe, she flies towards the mountain. Yang Ziyan smiled helplessly, and then looked at the rabbits and pheasants in the forest. When he was asleep last time, he put a batch of chickens and rabbits, including cattle, sheep, and wild boars, into the woods, so that they could reproduce freely. Today, let alone get a few of them. Thinking of this, Yang Ziyan no longer hesitated, his figure flickered, and quickly disappeared into the depths of the forest. Tonight spicy rabbit head, braised chicken nuggets, arranged. On the other side, Bibi Dong has already flown to the top of the unknown mountain, and is curiously looking at this place, where he will live for half a year in the future. Wuming Mountain does not mean that there is only one flat ground, because there are several peaks that are similar to it around Wuming Mountain, which together form a group of peaks. The Wuming Mountain is in the center. The top of the Wuming Mountain is the most expansive. Even the big square of the Wuhan Temple is not as big as here. 3 or 4 wooden houses stand on the flat ground, and they seem to be very old. In addition to this, Bibi Dong also saw a fish pond not far away with several different fishes. He didn't know that a big man Yang Ziyan actually liked to open fish ponds. That's it. This is the layout. Bibi Dong looked carefully in place, and found that there was no danger at all, everything was so ordinary. This guy, shouldn't it be a lie to me? Bibi Dong muttered to himself, and then took a small step forward, alert in his heart, for fear of sudden changes. After discovering that there was no change, Bibi Dong let out a long sigh. It seems that this guy was scaring him. There is no danger in arrangement here. Thinking of this, Bibi Dong no longer hesitated, and strode towards the central area, but he was still wary in his heart, for fear that something might happen if he left halfway. After all, Bibi Dong can be selected as a saint, but it is not only relying on strength, wisdom, and judgment, all of which are indispensable. Although she complains about Yang Ziyan, she will not let herself completely let go of her vigilance. But, after walking a distance of almost 1 kilometer, Bibi Dong realized that the central area was still so far away, and it seemed that the distance had not changed at all. Something is wrong. Bibi Dong slowly stopped, and then backed away, but she found that behind her, she did not know when, there was already a bamboo forest quietly, dense and vigorous, and there was no way to see. There is weird. Bibi Dong patted the bamboo forest lightly, but the bamboo forest only slightly dropped a few leaves, and a wooden sign slowly fell from the side. Do you know how it feels to find a way? Bibi Dong looked at the words on the wooden sign and bit his white teeth angrily. This is obviously the evil taste of this guy Yang Xian. He is a road silly himself, and he even arranged this way to let others get lost with him. Humph, I won't follow your path. Bibi Dong said to himself, and then his spirit power surged, and he patted the bamboo forest with all his strength. Sa. The bamboo swayed for a while, and the bamboo leaves fell and many pieces were spread on the ground, but the bamboo forest did not move at all. At the same time, another wooden sign fell from the bamboo forest. Are you tired? Go ahead when you are tired. Screw you. Bibi Dong's jade hand holding the wooden sign suddenly exerted force, and the wooden sign was instantly crushed. Then angrily Bibi Dong kicked the bamboo fiercely before turning around and walking towards the road ahead. There is only this way now, and Bibi Dong can only go this way. What does this mean? Bibi Dong walked for a while. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com looked at the 3 roads on the ground and the 3 wooden plagues corresponding to each road, and was stunned. Go here. I have no way. I am a shady trail, not suitable for girls to walk. Looking at the 3 completely different words on the 3 wooden signs, Bibi Dong sneered. Can this kind of multiple choice questions be difficult to get her? I will choose whoever clicks the cock. Bibi Dong's hand stopped at the 3rd wooden sign, she clapped her hands, and walked towards the 3rd path. She would like to see what the road is, which is not suitable for girls to walk, but only suitable for boys to walk. Yang Xian has a chicken in his left hand, a duck in his right hand, 2 rabbits in the storage bag, and a wild boar. Okay, it's time to go back, otherwise my cheap apprentice will go wrong in case, it will be a bad thing. Yang Xian saw that everything was almost done, and planned to go back. Although he had set up 33 layers of superimposed formations on the unnamed mountain, the first layer was just getting lost, but there were some of his own little things in it. It was not good to be hit by Bibi Dong or see it, so he should go back first. I saw Yang Xian walk to a specific position at the foot of the mountain, and then lightly stepped on the ground with his right foot. With him as the center, a circular light pattern of about 2 meters appeared on the ground. The pattern looked complicated and contained there is a kind of profound meaning in it. Hey, the master could take you back in the teleportation array, but the teleportation array only recognizes my breath. If you don't follow the master, how tired are you flying? Yang Xian muttered to himself, and then the light under his feet instantly became intense, each of the primitive runes flickered, and he instantly disappeared in place. To be honest, Yang Xian doesn't have much musical talent, or even if Wuhan is Fuxican, his musical attainments are average. But everything is afraid of time. Although he sleeps for a long time, it spans hundreds of millions of years. There is still time to practice the piano, and there are many audiences listening to the piano. So Yang Xian's current piano art is worthy of his shocking face. Ding ding dong dong. Ling ling ding. The soothing tone came from Fuxi Qin, which made the standing Bibi Dong calm down. She found that the sound of the piano was very devilish, and it instantly suppressed her violent killing air. And now there are countless white lines visible to the naked eye in the entire hall. If Bibi Dong is correct in guessing, it is the manifestation of the piano sound. Tick 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 tick. Ling da ling da ling da. As Yang Xian's hand speed kept changing and accelerating, Bibi Dong couldn't help but sit cross-legged and began to carefully understand the mystery. Yang Xian's piano sound gradually speeds up the rhythm from soothing, and becomes a little agitated, but in the agitated it carries a unique silence and ease. Feels like a quiet library in a busy city. Although in the busy city, it has its own quietness. Bibi Dong's originally anxious expression became relaxed amidst the sound of the piano. He slowly closed his eyes and didn't have too many extra movements. He just relaxed involuntarily and sat cross-legged. Bibi Dong was wearing a loose white training suit. Her slightly curvy lavender hair was tied into a ponytail, willow eyebrows, a cayenne nose, pretty ears and pink lips, which perfectly matched the goose egg-like face. Every time he sees this, Yang Xian can't help but quote a sentence from the Dream of Red Mansions: "How can there be people with such a mark in this world? It's a pity that such a beauty is not used to chop wood and cook for him." Although he was thinking indiscriminately in his heart, Yang Xian's hands never stopped. He could already play with his toes in this calming tone. It is impossible to make mistakes. About half an hour later, Yang Xian slowly picked up the sound, put his hands on the piano, the huge blue spirit ring behind it slowly disappeared, and he looked at Bibi Dong with a smile on his face. Bibi Dong also slowly opened his eyes and looked at Yang Xianqi, again with a surprised look. "He only played for half an hour, but my killing spirit has been half refined by me. How can it be? You must know the reason why the Killing God Realm is called the Killing God Realm is because the Killing God Realm is considered to be the top existence in the domain of the entire Douluo continent, but Yang Xian easily helped her refine half of it. This master, it seems really not in vain. Okay, don't worship me, brother is just a legend. Let's go, the master invites you to eat." Yang Xian took Fuxican into his body, played the dust that did not exist on the clothes, and then walked out the door first. Outer. Bibi Dong was stunned for a moment. She didn't hear Yang Zi's words, but she felt a little uncomfortable for a while, so she hurriedly got up and hurried to catch up. "Master, what are we eating today?" Bibi Dong was half a step behind Yang Xian, and asked in a relaxed tone. Killing Qi has been refined in half, her strength has also increased a bit, and her mood is naturally conceivable. And the most important point is that Bibi Dong has silently identified with Yang Xian as a master from the bottom of her heart, although she hasn't realized this yet. After all, Yang Xian didn't have any threats or other requests when he came up, and he directly refined her half of the killing spirit. Not everyone can have this kind of mind. And Yang Xian is so handsome, how could he have bad thoughts? At this moment, Yang Xian, who was walking in front, suddenly staggered and almost fell to the ground, but before Bibi Dong went to help, he barely stabilized his figure. "Master, what's the matter with you?" Bibi Dong walked quickly to hold on to Yang Xian's arm, and asked with some worry, "It was fine just now." "It's okay, it's just that when I help you refine the killing air, I used too much force, just a few days as a teacher." Yang Xian asked about the faint fragrance of Bibi Dong, pretending to be weak. Just finished playing the piano, he forgot to add the play, it's not too late to add it now. Sure enough, Bibi Dong didn't have the slightest suspicion. Lu frowned directly, and his expression became self-reproach, "Or master, I'm going to cook, you can rest." Yang Xian waved his hand, "It's not in the way, so let's, this time cooking, you can chop wood." Bibi Dong moved his forehead and nodded, "Okay, master, I will help you cook well. By the way, what is the name of our school, master?" Yang Xian was taken aback. It was not the first time he heard this question. He cleared his throat and said, "Our school has no name. If we have to add a name to him, then we call it egg yolk pie." Egg yolk pie. Bibi Dong looked at Yang Xian in a puzzled manner. The name was not domineering at all, and even had a strange feeling. "Yes, egg yolk pie, the first word refers to my outside, and the second word refers to my inside, which means our sex name." Yang Xian pretended to be a profound explanation Tao. "Anyway, if you don't understand, I'll give it a go." "Master, what are we eating today?" Bibi Dong gave up entangled with this question. Anyway, in half a year, she cares about egg yolk pie and pie. Today we eat, spicy rabbit head, braised pork, chicken, chicken stewed with mushrooms, and finally a bite of the noodles from the chef, which will satisfy you." Yang Ziyan reported the name of the dish smoothly, and Bibi heard it. Dong was stunned. "I can't wait to hear it." Cooking tools, or the kitchen, Yang Ziyan also has it here. It is a large wooden house ventilated on all sides. There are many familiar but unfamiliar kitchen utensils in it. "Master, what is this iron shelf?" "That's called a barbecue grill." "Then sir, what about this one?" "This is called a copper pot. It can be used to eat hot pot. I will show you a meal later." "Okay, don't ask too much, let's chop the firewood." Yang Ziyan waved his hand and sent Bibi Dong to the side of the firewood pile. "Really, such a big beauty, wouldn't it be a shame not to watch her chop firewood once?" "Ah, oh." Bibi Dong nodded blankly, then picked up the axe, stepped on a wooden stake with a slender thigh, rolled up his sleeves, and started his career of chopping wood. For some reason, Bibi Dong always felt that the temperament and wisdom of her saint would be crushed by Yang Ziyan. Many years later, Bibi Dong recalled his first and only experience of chopping wood. He wanted to choke Yang Ziyan next to him. He could use his soul power to boil water for cooking, but he deliberately tortured himself. And Yang Ziyan was not idle either. While manipulating the water element, he was cleaning wild pheasants and rabbits, while holding a pig knife, killing pigs. Killing pigs by others is vulgar, but killing pigs by Yang Ziyan is aesthetic. I saw that he just took a casual knife, and the whole pig was evenly cut in half, and there was no blood spilled, and no bones were cut. Then the pig's entrails were taken out. He who doesn't like to eat enema, directly burned the entrails with the fire element, and then blew it out of the house with the wind element. When Guyuina Silver Dragon King was accepted as a disciple, what the system rewarded him was Guyuina's element control ability. Now although the 7 elements are not used in fighting, Yang Ziyan found that the 7 elements are good helpers for daily cooking. After collecting 3/4 of the pork, Yang Ziyan only handled 1/4 of the pork. After everything was processed, he shouted to Bibi Dong, who was struggling to chop wood, "Dong er, come and burn the fire." Bibi Dong stopped his axe, and suddenly felt something was wrong, but Yang Ziyan then coughed slightly, and Bibi Dong instantly gave up thinking again. The master is a good person, except for being a little foolish. There is no harm. How could he deliberately bully her? I must have thought a lot. So, His Royal Highness jumped to the stove, holding a bundle of firewood. There are 3 stoves on Yang Ziyan's side. They can make spicy rabbit head, braised pork and chicken stewed mushrooms at the same time, and he can make 3 at the same time. Pour the oil, wait until the oil is hot, add the ingredients, then add the meat, stir fry, add salt, add the secret chili sauce, add mushrooms. Soon, the taste of braised pork floated out, and the flesh was golden in color, with thick oil and red sauce, tender and attractive. At this time, the Saint Bibi Dong was on fire wholeheartedly, and then she found that even if she could not look at the 3 stoves at the same time, the fire and temperature of the 3 stoves were well controlled. So, who felt something was wrong, she raised this question to Yang Ziyan. "Oh, you said this. I have fire element ability as a teacher. I can light fire and control the temperature without using firewood." Yang Ziyan replied casually. Then, he saw that Bibi Dong's face changed instantly. "So not only did you not get hurt. Use your spirit power at will. And you don't need firewood, right? Well, listen to me, Donger, actually this. Hee, it's late. His Royal Highness is very angry, and the consequences are serious. Never reason with women." These are the 2 conclusions that Yang Ziyan has come to now. Besides, Bibi Dong is indeed very angry now, and his chest is puffed up. Just look at her wearing a robe with turbulent spirit power, look at her willow eyebrows frowning, and 7 spirit rings slowly appearing behind her. It seems that she is about to release her spirit to fight with Yang Ziyan. "Yang Ziyan, go to hell! Bibi Dong Jiao snorted, all the firewood behind him floated directly, and then waved again, all the firewood flew towards Yang Xian. And it's still the kind with the sound of breaking through the air, listening to the sound will know how much energy is contained in it. In an instant, the entire kitchen was densely occupied by the firewood in the air. The countless firewood was like a rain of arrows, and it was shot at Yang Xian. But Bibi Dong soon discovered something wrong with Yang Xian, because Yang Xian yelled terribly, and the expression on his face looked like I was wrong, but he stood motionless on the spot, let alone released his martial soul to resist. You somehow hide it. Watching Yang Xian do not hide, nor release his martial soul, Bibi Dong stomped his feet in white cloth boots in anxious manner. Although she wanted to beat the unscrupulous master severely, she didn't want him to be really injured. You must know that she just shot with anger this time, and the attack power of each firewood will not be bad, even if it is contrastation. If you don't resist here, you will get hurt. But Yang Xian was standing there, his expression became calm, and there was time to raise his eyebrows in Bibi Dong. Boom boom boom. Countless firewood hit Yang Xian, as if hitting a hard steel plate, even a lot of firewood was directly shattered and turned into sawdust lurking in the air. How is this possible? Bibi Dong looked at Yang Xian, whose clothes were only a little dirty, and was surprised again. How could someone resist such a terrible attack without releasing the martial spirit, and even shattered the wood? Is it possible that his body is a spirit beast? In fact, Bibi Dong actually guessed a little bit correctly, that is, Yang Xian's body, which is very unusual. Ontology martial soul, primordial saint body. This is where Yang Xian's confidence lies. Although he is only the worst and worst version of the primordial Eucharist, it is not the soul sage that can break his defenses. What's even more terrifying is that his martial arts soul is his entire complete body, and of course the organs of the body are the same. It can be said to be truly one inside and outside. According to Yang Xian's research, the greatest use of his own martial soul is not actually used to beat people and resist beatings, but the inner part of this martial soul. Well, the primordial Eucharist gave him 2 good kidneys. In other words, he can cooperate with the Yellow Emperor's internal classic to give full play to the essence of the Yellow Emperor's internal classic, that is, Yayu Sanqian. This kidney is the most precious thing that the primordial Eucharist brings to him. Of course, Bibi Dong didn't know all this, he was just surprised by the hardness of Yang Xian's skin. But after being surprised by Yang Xian countless times, Bibi Dong has a high degree of acceptance for Yang Xian's new magical place. After all, 1 surprise is also a surprise, and 2 surprises are also surprises. Just get used to being surprised. Okay, you have enough, let's have dinner. Yang Xian patted the dust on the clothes, looked at the stove, the ingredients are all right, you can continue to eat. In fact, Yang Xian just now had a way to hide more, and even counterattack was easy, but he didn't want to do that. Sometimes girls get angry. What you have to do is not to reason and justify, but to be beaten by them in a regular manner, and then continue to reason. Well, let's eat. Bibi Dong raised his chin proudly, revealing his white and slender neck, making Yang Xian look at it and want to kiss him. Open the meal. Shaking his head, he threw out all the unrealistic thoughts, and then Yang Xian began to serve the rice. Bibi Dong stood there for a while and also took the initiative to help. The amount of food this time is not too large, but it is better than the amount. The enticing aroma of the food was brought to the stone table outside by Bibi Dong. Just looking at it, Bibi Dong felt these foods. It must be delicious. So while Bibi Dong was serving braised pork, he secretly took advantage of Yang Xian not looking here, put it on the table and took a piece with his hand, and threw a parabola into his mouth. Bibi Dong chewed a few times, and his beautiful eyes suddenly lit up. How could this be so delicious? Fragrance but not greasy, melts in the mouth, endless aftertaste. As a saint, the saint of the world's largest power, Bibi Dong has naturally eaten a lot of delicacies from the mountains and seas, but let her eat the first bite, and want to eat the second bite immediately. This braised pork is still the first one. So, the lady of the saint disregarded her image and didn't even wipe her greasy hands. She threw 3 pieces of braised pork into her mouth again, and then went back to the kitchen to serve the food again with a smile. Braised pork with chicken, stewed chicken with mushrooms, spicy rabbit head, garlic green vegetables, plus beef broth and clear noodles to be cooked later. This is all the dishes tonight. To entertain you as an apprentice today, the teacher personally cooked a few dishes for you. You tasted it not to your appetite. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Yang Xian smiled and looked at the corner of his mouth with a trace of oil. Bibi Dong said. Still stealing food, really, when you can't see it? Of course, you have to taste it before you talk. Bibi Dong just wanted to say that it was delicious, but then thought that he had stolen it at first, so he hurriedly changed his mouth. Well, let's eat. Yang Xian didn't bother to puncture, and took the chopsticks and added a chicken leg to Bibi Dong, looking like a father was picking vegetables for his daughter. When Bibi Dong saw this, he couldn't help but warm up, smiled at Yang Xian, held the rice, and officially started eating. This chicken is delicious. This rabbit head, absolutely. Master, why are the vegetables so delicious? Bibi Dong was pretending to be reserved at first, but then stopped sips. No way, the deliciousness is so delicious, she can't help it. And Bibi Dong feels that having been here for half a year, not to mention Yang Xian's cultivation level, just like this kind of food, you can make a big profit in the first half of the year, right? Master, can I eat this kind of food often in the future? Of course, you can eat it every day. Thank you, Master, you are so kind. Bibi Dong had completely forgotten that Yang Xian had pit her to chop wood. Yang Xian's meal had completely captured her stomach. His Royal Highness said that she should be more tolerant. Such a handsome, delicious cook, superb strength, and a master who was beaten and couldn't fight back. If he missed it, he would be gone. Bibi Dong looked up at Yang Xian's face while eating, lowered his head again, and ate intently. Confirmed the look in her eyes, the master is the most handsome boy she has ever seen, not one of them. The first day of apprenticeship, the experience was perfect. After Yang Xian waited for Bibi Dong to finish his meal, he cleaned up his pots and pans. He didn't bother Bibi Dong. He just said that class would start at 6 tomorrow morning, and he sent Bibi Dong back to rest. There are not many rooms on the mountain, only 2 or 3, but although the house is a bit tattered, it has everything inside. And this time Yang Xian was the house that was specially cleaned up after waking up. The sanitary conditions were not too bad, and the bedding was all brand new. Of course, compared to Bibi Dong's residence in Wuhan Hall, it is definitely incomparable, but Bibi Dong is not picky about anything. After all, she is not a pretty saint, and Yang Xian's world is very energetic, and the air is also very good. This time she is definitely earning her apprenticeship. And Yang Xian, after finishing everything up, immediately activated the mountain guard formation, and then walked towards his house. Before entering the house, he also looked at Bibi Dong's room. The light in the room is still on, and Bibi Dong's figure is perfectly set against the window. Although it is only a shadow, it is not difficult to see from the shadow. This is definitely a beauty. Humming the small song, Yang Xian smiled lightly, returned to the pedantry again, and went back to sleep. Bibi Dong breathed a sigh of relief until it was confirmed that Yang Xian had entered the house. Although Yang Xian was good in everything, and his character was not bad, he was not afraid of 10,000, just in case. This lone man and widow in the middle of the night is much stronger than himself. If he breaks into his house forcibly and wants to do something, then he really wants to cry without tears. Fortunately, Yang Xian just glanced at the window and then went back to the house. Bibi Dong was relieved. At best, he showed a shadow, no big deal. He would never see that he was only wearing a little wrap and a little shorts, right? Yes, the big white rabbit of Bibi Dong is half exposed at this time, under the short shorts, with long legs exposed, white and tender, a pair of beautiful little feet like white jade, dangling in the air. Early the next morning, around 6 o'clock, Bibi Dong was woken up by Yang Xian, the kind that really woken up with a voice. The plan for a day is in the morning. Get up and practice as soon as possible. Yang Xian clapped his hands so that Bibi Dong, who was still a little confused, could wake up. Well, the plan for a day lies in the morning. What I said is that a day can only play its greatest role and contribution in the early morning. Here a day refers purely to study and work. Ha, ow. Bibi Dong yawned with her rosy and seductive Yin Tao's small mouth in her slender jade hand, with a look of sleepy eyes. At this time, Bibi Dong gave people a silly feeling. Master, what are you studying today? This morning, I have the strength of the soul saint. What I have to do now is to get familiar with the soul skills and practice hard. You teach me things instead of letting me meditate. Bibi Dong said intermittently, rubbing his eyes while talking. It's been a long time since I got up so early, and I'm a little sleepy. And what Bibi Dong said is also true. At the level of soul sage, he doesn't rely on learning things to improve his strength. It depends on polishing his soul skills and improving his soul power. If there is really any way to improve strength, it is definitely not learning, but relying on soul bones and treasures of heaven and earth. Besides, Bibi Dong leaned against the Wuhan Hall, and the theoretical knowledge was already very substantial. She really couldn't figure out what else Yang Xian could teach her. In Bibi Dong's view, it's been pretty good for the past 6 months to eat the food prepared by the unscrupulous master, practice his own discipline, and then fully refine the killing energy and use the killing god realm perfectly. There is nothing to teach you? Well, the teacher will tell you today how big the gap between soul masters is. Yang Xian sneered, and then his soul power changed drastically. He was originally ordinary, like a mortal, but at this time his spirit power continued to soar until the strength of the Soul King stopped. I have suppressed my spirit power to about level 50 now. I don't use spirit rings. I only use my own self-created spirit abilities. You can use all your spirit rings, spirit abilities, including domains and spirit bones. A stick of incense time, as long as you beat me, you will win. Bibi Dong listened to Yang Xian's words, and he was immediately relieved of sleepiness. I have seen someone who pretends to be so forceful. I have never seen someone who pretends to be so pretended. I really think I can't do it with water, and I want to defeat myself? Master, do you remember what you said? No spirit skills are allowed, just the strength of the Soul King. Bibi Dong confirmed again, for fear of Yang Zi's safety. If I beat you, you will not only not force me to study, but also cook for me every day. Yang Xian nodded softly, the little girl really missed his meal. At this time, Yang Xian took a long step forward with one foot, stretched out his right hand, and made a please gesture. Bibi Dong was not squeamish, the 7 spirit rings lighted up instantly, he turned his fist with one hand, and hit it directly. Boom boom boom. Da 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 da. Half a minute later, Bibi Dong flew out, but Yang Xian was not too much, at least Bibi Dong could control his body to fall to the ground. How could it be possible that your spirit power is weaker than mine, but you can exert a power higher than mine? Yang Xian smiled and said, everyone has unlimited potential, and the power that everyone can exert and control is at most 10% of their own power. But I can perfectly control 80% of my own power. You have different talents, but you can display 40% of your full strength, so you are not as good as me. After listening to Bibi Dong, although she knew what Yang Xian said was reasonable, she still felt that this guy was too old to speak, and she wanted to punch someone. Yang Xian was the first to make Bibi Dong want to punch someone without moving for 2 or 3 days. You can use martial arts and soul skills. Yang Xian continued, and today he has to tell this beautiful apprentice how strong her master is. Well, it is strong in the physical sense, not in the physiological sense. Hey! Bibi Dong was naturally not polite. The 7 spirit rings flashed, her martial spirit was released, and her figure also changed. Martial spirit, Death Spider Emperor. Boom boom boom. Brush. 1 minute later, Bibi's Tobu spirit was relieved, and he lay on the ground desperately, looking like he was unlovable. Although Yang Xian doesn't use spirit abilities, his moves are more terrifying than spirit abilities. Almost every punch, every palm of his hand carries the shadow of the spirit ability. It can be said that he himself is a terrifying martial spirit, and his spirit ability is also easy to come by. How can that be? Soul abilities are actually not absolute for me. As long as I have the support of soul power, I can release many soul abilities. I call them my own soul abilities. On the contrary, you spirit masters take the spirit abilities brought by the spirit ring too much, but forget the power and importance of your own spirit abilities. And the spirit abilities of the spirit ring will restrict your development. At the beginning of the weak period of humanity, they did not dare and were not qualified to hunt down spirit beasts. They relied on these individual spirit abilities to create a world of future generations. Yang Xian said every sentence sonorously, and his eyes were deep and silent at this time. At this moment, Bibi Dong seemed to see the feeling of Heng Guan Yang Xian's eyes. Get up, now you still feel that it is unnecessary to learn from me. Yang Xian stretched out his hand in front of Bibi Dong and motioned to the other party to pull it up. Bibi Dong gave Yang Xian a white look, but he also put his gentle little hand in Yang Xian's hand, and was pulled up by Yang Xian. Well, the hands are very soft and slippery, don't know what it feels like to touch me? After getting up, Bibi Dong didn't hit himself in the dust, but looked at Yang Xian puzzledly. If you follow your explanation, then the spirit master world is taking the wrong path now. It can't be wrong, it can only be said to be simplified. After all, creating soul abilities is more difficult, and obtaining soul abilities from the spirit ring is a shortcut. Yang Xian shook his head and smiled. Although the spirit master's path is a weakened version, even a bit crooked, it is better than a quick one, but I can't ask for anything. Please teach me the real martial arts function and the use of soul skills. Bibi Dong said respectfully to Yang Xian, clasping his fists in both hands. This time she is completely convinced. In fact, the use and mastery of this kind of spirit power is not a matter of overnight, and Yang Xian also intends to transform Bibi Dong's martial spirit, which also takes time. Bibi Dong's spirits are one of the Death Spider King and the other the Soul Eater Spider King. Both of them are the emperors among the insect spirits, but their shortcomings are also obvious. First, the repetitiveness of the two spirits is too high, or they are both of the same type, and they cannot fully utilize all the advantages of the twin spirits. The second point is that the two spirits are not the kind of good-looking spirits, and their release will destroy Bibi Dong's fairy-like temperament. This is very important. Well, he was just worried about the appearance of his apprentice in the future, so he didn't have any strange thoughts. And Bibi Dong's martial spirit evolution direction has already been selected, and he only needs to slowly follow the plan in the future. After letting Bibi Dong take it orally, it was time for breakfast, but Yang Xian took 10 minutes to prepare breakfast. Although short, it is sharp. Simply boiled rice porridge with cucumber and small roll buns is simple but not lacking in nutrients. After all, the rice was delivered by the system, the cucumbers were grown by themselves, and the flour for making the buns was given by the village girl from the mountain. When Bibi Dong saw this kind of breakfast at first, he couldn't help but spit out silently in his heart. Isn't this too perfunctory? But thinking that I had such a good meal last night, it would not be good to be picky at breakfast, so I decided to eat something. But a bite of cucumber, the crispy feeling, made her eyes bright. A cucumber actually made her taste delicious. With the cucumber as the base, Bibi Dong has more expectations for the other two dishes. As expected, the small roll bun is very soft, very fresh, and has a slight wheat fragrance. The rice porridge is cooked just right and melts in the mouth. Master, are you the reincarnation of the god of cookery? Why do you make something casually? It makes me feel like a taste of the world. Bibi Dong said slurredly while eating the steamed buns. My master chef is still a peerless cook? What kind of visual sense is this? Yang Ziyan raised his eyebrows. Well, I'm afraid you will have to find the answer on your own. In half a year, if you taste all the food I cook, you will know if I am the god of cooking. If you can't hold your stomach for a month, then I have lived for hundreds of millions of years, and people who have come from the 21st century won't have to mess around. Anyway, the one who has withstood the longest time before is Guyuina of the year, but Guyuina has been with it for 20 days, so I don't want to dislike Yang Ziyan's cooking skills. If it wasn't for Guyuina who couldn't expose too much, she guessed that she would have come to eat dinner again now. Well, the one with the lowest resistance was Bo Sixi. She only used it for a day before she became Yang Ziyan's little girl. She was holding Yang Ziyan's thigh and crying when it was time to leave, and refused to leave. Bibi Dong rolled his eyes again, and didn't say anything, but ate the delicious food in peace. There is only food in this world that cannot be disappointed, and everything else is floating clouds. After eating the food, Bibi Dong took the initiative to clean up the dishes this time. After all, she was also the one who wanted face. It's really too much to eat Yang Ziyan, drink Yang Ziyan's, and learn from Yang Ziyan's food, but do nothing. After breakfast, it was time for class again. Yang Ziyan looked at Bibi Dong's long legs wrapped in his pants, as well as the small but still attractive calf that was only exposed outside. He suddenly felt that it would be a pity not to stab the horse with such a beautiful thigh. Moreover, the Zama step is also an important step in the practice. Its advantage is that it can make women's legs more elastic and make squats more vigorous. For example, the eighth girlfriend of his previous life, when doing some things, he clearly said that he was boring, but he would still do squats faster and more vigorously. With the last breath, he tried to do squats. The reason is that the legs must be strong and elastic. Okay, please do this with me now. Yang Ziyan took the lead in a standard horse stance, with a very correct posture and a strict attitude. Although she was very curious about the meaning of this action, Bibi Dong didn't ask any questions, but obediently followed. The action is wrong, the hips should be protruding, the arms should be stable, and the legs should be straight. Yang Ziyan took a wicker from nowhere, tapped Bibi Dong's buttocks and arms, and emphasized in a corrective manner. I see, but don't hit someone. Bibi Dong pouted her mouth unhappily. She had never been beaten like this before. But let's not say, besides the slight pain, Bibi Dong has a strange feeling in his heart. Yang Ziyan naturally didn't know that he had unlocked a certain attribute of Bibi Dong, but he continued to teach Bibi Dong the horse step dutifully. According to this posture, hold on for an hour, don't use spirit power secretly, just come for the teacher. Yang Ziyan emphasized it specially before leaving, and then left the clearing on the top of the mountain. And the way he left was very special, that is, a six-pointed star array with a radius of 2 meters slowly appeared under his feet, and there were dense and complex golden symbols on the six-pointed star array, which made people unable to help but dizzy. Then, with a flash of golden light, Yang Ziyan disappeared to the top of the mountain, not knowing where he went. Strange knowledge has increased again. Looking at the place where Yang Ziyan left, Bibi Dong murmured silently, but did not dare to relax at all. She believes that it makes sense for her master to ask her to do this. She must be able to easily control all her soul power and power like Yang Ziyan. On the other side, Yang Ziyan slowly appeared on the peak next to Wuming Mountain. This mountain Yang Ziyan named him Wuming Mountain No. 2, which is simple and clear. Although there are several flat grounds on the top of this mountain, it is not a building, but a lush medicine garden. What lovesick heartbroken red, what can see through autumn water, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com, and what strange velvet chrysanthemum, in fact, are all road goods, leftovers, fairy grasses, weeds. This is the true portrayal of Yang Zion Medicine Garden. There is no way, just sow a few seeds at random, arrange a few spirit gathering formations, and wake up again, it will be the fairy grass. This medicinal garden is just a little bit of Yang Zion's background. As a handsome guy who has slept for hundreds of millions of years, he doesn't have too many cards and backgrounds in his hand. He has forgotten even many of the things he arranged at hand. Fortune Tongtianko has been around for about 80 million years. I practiced 100 pill, let Donger take one in 2 days, almost barely enough to absorb it, then the twin martial arts will naturally take the good fortune and evolve into a new one. Wahun! Yang Ziyan raised his foot and gently pulled up the grass that was stepped on under his feet. There was no way, there were too many fairy grasses. A good for nothing celestial grass was too common, and it was completely unaware that it was stepped on. By the way, Donger's physical and mental strength also needs to be improved, and this 50-million-year-old chrysanthemum needs to be taken away. Yang Ziyan raised his foot again and picked the chrysanthemum that he had just stepped on because of his position shift. Come down. Well, that's about it for now. Right. Cucumbers and cabbage are gone. These vegetables have absorbed vitality for hundreds of years, so they can just be picked back. Yang Ziyan looked closer to the center, and the protection was perfect. A large slice of vegetables, talking to himself. Well, fairy grass is not important, just sprinkle it on the side of the road, but the vegetables should still be paid attention to. How to eat them if they are stepped on? Although his medicine garden is integrated, the total number of hills is hundreds of thousands of acres. Go back. The formation pattern under Yang Ziyan's feet flickered and disappeared again, where the formation was automatically activated when he left.